Welcome to a special edition of 5 Minutes where we're going to dive deep into the complexities of Florida's property insurance market. Over the past few decades, this market has faced a significant challenge, from devastating hurricanes to legal financial hurdles. Today, we'll explore the history, the current issues, and the potential solutions for this ongoing crisis. Florida's regulatory framework, it imposes strict controls on how insurers can set and adjust rates. While these regulations, they aim to shield consumers from sudden premium hikes, they also limit insurers' ability to respond quickly to increasing risks and costs. Compounding the issue, inflation and rising construction costs have added more financial strain to the matter. For example, since 2020, construction costs in the United States have risen by nearly 40%, driven by supply chain disruptions and labor shortages. But for insurers, that means higher payouts and claims for reconstruction. But with regulatory limits on rate adjustments, many insurers find it increasingly difficult to remain financially viable in Florida. Now, insurers may also have to look to changes in policy language and their approach to underwriting and claims adjudication. Tim Moloney of PreLoss, he suggests that by reducing the ambiguity of coverage and cause of loss, this could improve the way carriers price and accept risks.
Reminded me of the concept of proximate loss versus the primary cause of loss, right? And right. Is that where you're seeing that ambiguity in terms of what the proximate versus the primary cause of loss is?
Well, if we get into that a little bit, referring to that post, proximate cause is, we get into an accident. Why do we get into an accident? This person ran a red light at the intersection. So we're going to go back in the claims evaluation. We're going to try to determine fault, liability, and the proximate cause. You ran a red light. That's the problem. When we have a hurricane, the hurricane hits an area and damages an asset. The hurricane is the proximate cause. What I am suggesting that the industry needs to do when they focus on the hurricane, and that's where they're focused, they're not understanding the risk resiliency and property of these assets. The issue is all of these projectiles from loose tile on a roof when we have the hurricane damage, but why did the hurricane grab these tiles and throw them around? So I want to go to the root cause. I think that's where some of the ambiguity is and some of the issues are. The industry not understanding the conditions of the asset. I have another $30 million loss that I get into a case study where we have a 1.8 million square foot condo tower. And when we look at the damages, they resulted from gravel ballast on this structure. So gravel ballast should not be on a structure in a coastal community that's subject to hurricanes. So what happened is, instead of sandblasting, we had gravel blasting of this structure, breaking windows, tearing up the cooling towers. The stucco got peppered with all of this.
So I think we can conclude that addressing Florida's insurance crisis, it requires a multifaceted approach. We've got to continue looking at legal reform, so implementing measures to reduce frivolous lawsuits and curb unethical practice by lawyers and by public adjusters. We've got to continue addressing the regulatory environment and look for ways to allow insurers to more flexibly set rates to reflect the actual risk while still at the same time ensuring consumer protections. And we've got to also look at mitigation efforts and invest in infrastructural improvements and enforcing stricter building codes to reduce the vulnerability to hurricanes. And finally, public awareness. We've got to educate homeowners on risk management and the evolution of the insurance market, really educating folks on how the market works. Nick Lamparreli, through the Florida Insurance Advocacy Forum, is playing a pivotal role in addressing the complex challenges that face our market today. To sum it all up, Florida's insurance market faces a perfect storm of risks, regulations, and costs. For residents, that means staying informed and advocating for responsible policies and preparing for the challenging insurance landscape. Thanks for tuning in to 5 Minutes. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Farewell.
Thank you for joining this episode of 5 Minutes. If you've enjoyed our discussion, we'd love for you to share it with anyone else you think might find it interesting. Also, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on and hit that bell to stay on top of the game with our practical 5-minute episodes. We look forward to seeing you again next week.